in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over. Take you deep. Your heart is my temple. Your tears rinse my feet. You walk out, you're able to carry my peace. It's an ancient sound heard from the ones who came before. Now it's here once more to pierce your soul. A simple melody playing over and over in your streets, like a whirlwind burning things, tearing down the dark. That's where I relieve, and my heart starts to sing when I relieve. I let you take the lead when I relieve. You come close to me when I relieve. When I relieve. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings. Your emotions, they find me out. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings. Your emotions, they find me out. When I let it go, when I let it go, when I let it go, I let it all go now. I let it go, now I let it go, I let it go. Let it all go now.
Two. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? We're live. A bunch of people out of the building. Just a couple of us here today, but we're going to talk about some stuff anyway. Appreciate you joining us. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Please hit that share button, hit that like button, drop a comment, say hello. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
That's right. Tuesday night, we're here. Moan is on vacation. Stan's on vacation. James is working late. Jake's got a hurt back, but he's in the building with me tonight.
Brothers are here.
The brothers are here. And we got John, and Rachel over there holding down the production.
My hair's all crazy.
Rachel with
the glasses.
the red shades.
I've been sick all week, so.
Yeah.
They look red on there, but they look pink, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Pink or peach. I don't know.
Emma said hello. What's up, What's up, Emma? Emma is one of our Young Lion Patreon members. Shout out to you. And one of our longtime watchers and our fellow soccer brother. Jake, you should have seen Jake this weekend, Emma. He was going, we got off the plane, went to a soccer game up on no sleep, and then Jake ended up hurting his back, man. But how you feeling now? Still hurting?
Hurting. Yes. Hurting.
That's what happens when you're getting old.
I'm not receiving that.
Nah, it's just, it was
I mean, I kind of figured out I did a little too much, the day before.
Well, when we were at the hotel, you were like doing laps of breaststrokes in the pool.
Yeah, well, we had two shows that day.
Two shows.
We're like, the whole time we're moving. So,
yeah.
Like, that day, I almost hit 30,000 calories.
Right.
Like, lost.
Right. 30,000.
I'm just not there.
I was about to say, dude, let's call the hospital right
30,000. 3,000.
Right.
Yeah, 3,000. And
you worked out in the gym.
Worked out in the gym, walked.
Yeah.
Did two shows, but the thing that I think threw me off was the laps in the pool.
The laps in the pool, because you're doing the breaststroke. That's something you don't normally do.
I only did it because it's, it's a good workout.
Yeah.
But it works your hips and
your lower
hips
back
are
and all
connected
that.
to your lower back muscle.
Right.
So, yeah, so I was in the game. I was feeling, we only got a couple hours of sleep. That's probably another issue. Mm-hmm. But, I felt good in the game, and it's just I got hit and thrown off a little bit from the back. And
yeah. So to put it in perspective, we got done the show around 11:30-ish, and then
12 o'clock our time.
12 o'clock our time, Chicago time, 11 o'clock. And then they had given us so much food. And shout out to Tavern on LaGrange in Chicago, because they have some great food, and they really took care of us. Their hospitality was awesome. So if anybody's in the Chicago area, if you ever go to Chicago, it's like on the outskirts in the suburbs area, but look up Tavern on LaGrange. Their food is really good, but they were like hooking us up. So they gave us all these to-go plates to take home with us after the show. So we went back to the hotel, of course, and we're like just eating and hanging out. So then that goes further into the night. And then we got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport for a 6 a.m. flight. And then our idea was, well, the flight gets in at 9, so we can go right from the plane to the soccer game. We had a game at 9:30.
Yeah.
And we made it at like about right before halftime. We made it to the game. And then it was fine at first, right? You was out there feeling good, killing it. Yeah.
Played one quarter, 20 minutes, and then halfway into the last quarter, just pulled my back. That muscle just...
Good thing we don't have no show this weekend.
Yeah. I would be looking like an old man up there.
You'd be up there be like Mike from Boys and Men. You'd be up there with a cane, not doing none of the dance steps.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, so let's get into I like to start off with interesting things I saw on Twitter.
Right.
So there's a couple things. First thing is, I have this news article here that I just wanted to bring up that I thought was pretty interesting, where they just found out that Google was funding Google was funding one of the top people that was giving money to the Wuhan lab. And this article kind of goes into it a little bit, but it's funny to me because when you think about like how much they've been actively censoring anyone who talks about that theory, or how they've been like actively taking down posts, anyone who talks about the lab or the lab leak hypothesis, they've been censoring that for a long time.
Right.
And now you find out that they're directly connected to it. So it's like all these crazy conflicts of interest. This is one tweet by a journalist. Revealed Google funded Wuhan Institute of Virology's top research partner, Peter Daszak, for over a decade. Could this explain why big tech silenced debate on the origins of COVID-19? Yeah, a bunch of people tweeting about it, talking about it now. But it's like, yeah, they label you conspiracy theorists. They label people, this is debunked. This is debunked. And the more and more we're finding out about this, the more we're finding out that like, yo, this thing goes deep. Mm-hmm. Like the government's involved.
Yeah.
Top officials are now, big tech is involved. It's like,
I think we're going to start seeing how much big tech is involved. Like people, when you think about Facebook or you think about Google.
Is Jake's mic volume down low?
Say that, yeah.
He sounds low.
He's a little lower than
you.
Yeah, put him up. We should be even.
Yeah, so when you think about big tech and Google, you just think of them in those spaces, but people don't understand that they actually got their hands stretched out into other realms.
And I think people don't understand how, because there was that article about how, have you seen like people talking about now about how all these FBI informants were involved in January 6th? Have you been hearing about this?
No.
Like over the last few days, they've been talking about this. Like people have been showing evidence about how like there was a bunch of people. Actually, most of the organizers, like the top organizers of the January 6th thing, were arrested but never prosecuted.
The organizers to go into the
the ones
not just to go there, but
to
go into the Capitol building.
Right. So there's been like over 300 people arrested, but they're all like mostly the people that just kind of were stumbling around in there looking at stuff.
Right.
But the top ones, I got to see if I can find the article on it. But the information is basically that most of the people that were involved, they're finding out are connected or were FBI informants.
Wow.
So it's like,
so they're on the FBI payroll.
Exactly.
FBI CIs.
Yeah. And people don't understand how they've done that so many times in our history where it's like they will create a situation, to shape public opinion on something.
Yeah, I mean, the whole. I was talking about the what was that, Judas and Judas
and the Black Messiah.
The Black Messiah, yeah, that movie. That was all about the FBI. They did it with
Malcolm X, the Black Panthers. They do it with everyone.
Yeah, a lot of different places, like within the Black Panthers organization.
They did it with a lot of the war protests in the 60s. This is a tactic that they use all the time, especially if they want to push public opinion into a direction. You know?
Right, and that's either way, it's dangerous. It's dangerous regardless. Mm-hmm. If we're using our authorities for the wrong reasons, that's what needs to be exposed. That's what needs to be dealt with. Yeah,
and there's something about there's this surveillance footage that they have that they won't release because most of the people in the footage are informants and they can't reveal their identity. It's all this crazy stuff that people have been revealing and uncovering. Right. So it's
we were talking about last week about learning patience and
we want it to be. We want things to get exposed. We want justice to happen.
Yeah,
right.
But I think we're seeing that like you'll hear a little thing here, you'll hear a little thing there, and those are the things that you gotta kind of see. Like, there's little things happening, but keep on trusting in God.
Right.
Don't get jaded and get annoyed and just everything's corrupt, the whole system's corrupt. No,
right.
God is looking out for our best interest, but we got to agree with him. We have to, he wants to do things, but he can't do anything if he doesn't have any agreement,
right.
in the system. And if we just keep trusting in him, that's that agreement. And you'll start to see things shift. But that's what happened with us, like with this city. Like, what a guy, pray for Camden.
And
right?
how much corruption got exposed.
Yeah.
From the city hall, the mayor, the police department,
Yep.
like it all changed.
Yep. And all we did was pray.
Yep.
And I remember and I know
and walk around.
I know this is spiritual,
yeah.
But we seen stuff happen.
Yeah.
Like, you could say it's coincidence, but we believe that if you agree with God, and I remember the first time I went out and I'm looking at the craziness in Camden as I'm praying and walking, and I even like people, acting crazy.
Yeah.
And God was like, don't focus on what you see. Focus on me.
Right.
And, that's the key. Like, there's always going to be those outside influences trying to attack you, trying to make you think nothing you do really matters. And
I think the more that we, like, seeing this article about Google, seeing all this stuff about the FBI being connected to January 6th, it shows you that like this thing is so complex and so deeply embedded into
so intertwined, web,
right? That it's like this isn't going to just be some, there's no way to just be like, we got it, it's finished. You know what I mean? It's like they have so much intertwined things going on that it's going to be. Only God could untangle that web.
Yeah, it's like with us, like when we come, like we're so intertwined into the world, into the systems of the world that God can't just sever us from everything.
Right,
He's got to slowly untangle us from all our entanglements. Our entanglements, literally. And
shout out to Jada Pinkett. She made that term a household term this year. What do you mean?
But you think about that, like,
hey, mom said hi.
Hey, mom. The entanglements. That's like, the things we want to do, the things that we're into, but we have to learn, and it takes time. That's how good God is. Like, he's not going to just like, no, it's this. No, he slowly molds us. He slowly takes us away. He slowly weans us off of the drugs that we've been stuck on,
Yep. And the drugs are all of the everyday conveniences that make our lives better, or give us some dopamine rush, some type
comforts.
Any kind of comfort. It could be what you eat every day. It
could be going on social media.
Yes, it's true. But so I wanted to show that. So we're streaming on YouTube right now, so Google's probably going to take that down. But all right. So now I just wanted to show this because this was the propaganda, the levels of propaganda that they have been unleashing on the public is just it's on a level that I've never seen before. And we've seen all these clips about like people just praising Fauci and all that stuff, and this is right along those lines with a bunch of Hollywood people. And this is how dumb they think everyone is. They're like, if we just put a bunch of famous people in a video and tell them to do things, they'll listen. Right. But here we go.
Shout out to our favorite MD, Anthony Fauci.
Look at my head.
Hug your family. It's time to hug your family. Feeling so relieved. No lockdowns, we're free.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. That's your reaction? Yeah. Nah,
I mean,
man,
yeah,
come
that's
on.
what it is.
That doesn't make your stomach just turn.
I mean, dude, how long we been seeing stuff
It's
like
just
this?
like because it's just to me it's like they're spitting in our faces because they think we're that dumb. That's all they got to do is spend a couple $1 million, put a little production together, and everyone will just fall in line. You know what I mean?
Well, they're not looking for everyone. They're looking for a few. You know,
They're trying to grab as many
all
as
you
they
gotta
can.
get is a few loud ones.
Yeah.
You know, those are the ones that are gonna yell, "What are you doing? Are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
Did you get your vaccine?" I hear people say it all the time to other people.
Yeah.
It's that mentality. But yeah, you just throw something here, throw something there, and you just keep hitting them. You know.
Yeah. I saw something for. Hold on, let me see if I can find this.
But again, we were talking about that. Like it's like the prostitute, like that stands on the corner.
Yeah.
You know, if you pass the prostitute enough, you start to become, what's the word? You become used to it. And some people even fall for it.
Yeah. A lot of people do. Yeah, I can't find it. But there was like another video. I should have saved it. But it was very out there. It was like, oh, here it is. Ban.video.
This is like industrial level sex trafficking. She's
Wow.
like, I got Germans, I got Asians, I got
I don't know what all
foreigners,
that
I got
is,
domestic, I got imports, anything you want. And he's like, no yellows. She's like, I got ex-NBA husbands, anything you want.
So
What was that?
that was, I guess, the video that went along with it. But I was just trying to show you the video of like they did like this whole chorus number about getting vaccinated, but it was for Pride Month, so it was this gay choir,
All right.
and they're all out there with their
Right,
shirts,
right,
and they're
right.
like,
proud.
yeah, telling everyone to vaccinate. It was just funny.
The pride thing is interesting too.
Yeah, it is Pride Month, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it's the proud thing that's interesting.
Yeah,
You know, with you have you have a father, the pride of the father, or the lion's pride. You know, that stems from the king lion.
right.
But then you have pride, which has to do with it, like even ignorance and believing what you're doing is the best thing, and then coming at anybody who says it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a whole nother thing. That's not the same type of pride. One pride has to do with being pleasing to that overarching authority above all authorities.
Right.
And the other pride has to do with being conceited, you know, and thinking you know what you really don't know. Think you know more than you know.
Right.
So it's just interesting how we're in that Pride Month right now, you know, and it's about people throwing in your face the things that they do and acting like everybody needs to get down with it, you know.
And then there's the other side of that where it's like it just becomes another propaganda tool for corporations to pretend like they care about something so that you'll buy their products. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just throw a rainbow flag on everything, and you like I showed I sent you guys that picture of the white Skittles pack.
Yeah. And it said white pride.
Yo, that was hilarious. Yeah, it was a Skittles pack. They were trying to celebrate Pride Month, so they said we're not gonna do our rainbow because that belongs to Pride Month. So we're going to do a pack of white Skittles. But then on the label, it said white pride. It said Skittles white pride. Yeah. Dropped the ball there.
It's definitely, they dropped the ball because you're overthinking something, trying to be so into it that
they want to use it as like I said, they want to use it as a tool to sell you something.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's so phony and disingenuous that even in them trying to do it, they mess up. You know, they mess it up.
And that's what it's all about. Like people wanting to receive glory and receive a position in life, in society, for something they don't deserve, but feel that they deserve based off of their own feelings and assumptions, and then wanting to make everyone feel that way around.
Yep.
You know, that's what pride is. You know, and it's crazy how it's connected to, like, in the Bible, it's connected to Leviathan, which is like this dragon that can't be defeated.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But God created, you know, and it's connected to the children of pride in the Bible.
Mom said, "Don't forget my medium T-shirt." I got you, Mom. I remember it tonight. I promise. I think Rachel stole it. She got it on right now.
This is mine. I earned this one show a long time ago.
Tia said, "Good evening, hello all. It's been a long time." And hey. I think that was a pun. What's up, Tia? What's up, Ariana? Ariana said, "Hey guys, don't forget to hit the share button." Yeah, I never did the whole rundown. If you're watching right now, guys, please hit the like button, hit the share button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button and share the video. We're trying to get this stuff out there to more people because the stuff that we talk about, they don't like to let the algorithm do the work. So we need people to share it. And we appreciate you guys checking in with us. And don't forget to go to the Patreon if you want to become a member, patreon.com/youngliontv. You can see it right there on the screen. We're getting some members joining in, which is awesome. We appreciate each and every one of you. The more we can get signed up to help out, the better we can do with content and equipment and just kind of growing this thing. There's the Patreon right there. You can sign up for any one of those tiers, and we truly appreciate it. Also, if you want to get merch and music, you can go to jatan.com. We got new stuff coming out very, very soon. And there it is right there. Exclusive stuff on the Patreon coming soon as well. But yeah, appreciate you guys checking in. One more thing I wanted to show from Twitter, because this is something from our childhood, and this is something that I wish James was here because it's something that we talk about all the time. And boom. Do you know who this is right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know who that is.
That's Mariana Duncan?
No.
Oh, that's Sammy Sosa, right?
That's Sammy Sosa.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mixed them up.
The other Dominican.
Wow, he looks
Sammy Sosa, dude.
Sammy Sosa, Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, but me and James talk about this all the time because, like, just the fact that, like, he decided to do this. For those that don't know, Rachel probably, let's show you what he used to look like.
Excuse me, I know who Sammy Sosa is.
Oh, you do?
I know all about his skin lightening problems.
Okay.
Over several years now.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I thought that was before your time.
No. My brother is a big baseball fan.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is the original Sammy Sosa. The original. And then we have the new one here. And it's amazing, like, what is going on there where you would feel like, that's a move to make.
Yeah, there's some mental stuff going on there, Definitely. Some weakness in the mind. Right?
Yeah, I mean, something. It's I think it also comes from the culture out there in DR. You know what I mean? Because there is a colorism thing, a serious colorism thing out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In a lot of the Latin American communities, there's a colorism thing.
Well, I know they like specifically like had that ingrained in their society for a while that they came from Spain.
It's from Spain, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like to be called African
No.
at all. They don't identify.
And I mean, there's a bunch of different, like Dominicans come in all colors. But,
yeah.
But the majority of them are
But I'm saying
darker
like
skin.
I was watching that thing with was it Henry Louis Gates, where he did that show about all through the Americas, and he went to DR and he was interviewing people, and I'm talking about even like the darkest people.
Yeah.
He was asking like, do you consider yourself African or black? No, I'm Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm
They
Spanish.
because they indoctrinated them into that.
Right.
In the schools.
Right.
Like there was a time where they got conquered by this dictator. He took over for a while. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was their like indoctrination. Like, we are Spaniards. We came from Spain. So, that was something that I guess still stays around to this day.
And it was probably also something to separate them from the Haitians because they're, both in the same place. So it's like, we're not African like them. We're Spanish,
Right. Yeah.
We're better. And then the later you are, the more Spanish you are, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. All I keep thinking about is there's this song that Liz always listens to, some reggae song, Dem a Bleach. It's talking about like people who bleach their skin.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a whole song about it. You know how like them reggae, and this is like, I was talking about like 90s dancehall reggae. It's about bleaching skin.
Wow.
About like girls bleaching their skin and stuff.
Trying to find something. Sorry.
What are you trying to find?
Trying to find that scripture.
Oh, okay. Out here on my own here. Okay. All right, let's get into some of the stuff that you sent me. So we can.
Good evening and thanks for watching.
Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to show. Yeah, let me show this. So last week we had that woman who came out and live on air put everybody on blast, and this happens again. There's like a bunch of people that are starting to do this now. Like they're putting their news stations live on there, putting them on blast.
Good evening and thanks for watching Verse Forecast. I'm meteorologist April Moss, and happy Father's Day. Today we saw temperatures above normal again, topping out at 85 degrees at Metro Airport. Plenty of sunshine today, but all good things must come to an end, and that starts as early as tomorrow morning with showers moving in around 8 a.m. And speaking of a brand new week, I will be sitting down this week with Project Veritas to discuss the discrimination that CBS is enforcing upon its employees. Tune in to Project Veritas for my full story. Now, later Monday, we will see those showers continuing through late morning.
But see how she just
we'll see
continues to
dry
go on with the
conditions
weather
and
broadcast?
More comfortable temperatures as well.
It's kind of crazy and cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's like
see people
are, but you see that happen. Like once one person becomes that tip of that spear, it makes it easier for others to come do the same thing.
It's kind of called breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
You're breaking through, but somebody has to sacrifice. You know? People are afraid to lose their jobs. Mm-hmm. They're afraid to.
Yeah, because that woman we showed last week, she was fired immediately. I'm sure this woman got fired immediately,
Yeah.
So.
That's what's interesting. A lot of people want to be like the top dog, want to be the best, want to be the greatest, And that's what we were talking about earlier, like exalting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what pride is.
Yeah.
But in God, it's the total opposite thing. Jesus said the first shall be last, So it's the people who humble themselves and like actually throw themselves sacrificially to the wolves will become first.
Yeah.
You know, you do it first, but it's for a reason, and that's why you're kind of like a father, you know, or that kind of standpoint,
Right?
Like,
yeah. The head has to be in the front lines,
right. That's why Jesus he sacrificed himself first, and we suffer in the suffering of Jesus.
What up, Stan? He said she was also fired. I'm sure she was. Mom said my dad used to bathe in bleach. And see, you went in there and totally ruined his whole idea by having little black children.
Half black.
Well, to him, black.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Her dad used to bathe in bleach. The dude was white as heck.
Yeah, he was already white.
Yeah.
But hey, when you are self-conscious about it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see people starting to be brave now. I'm hoping that really, I bet you a lot of these news organizations, a lot of these companies are like scrambling right now. They're probably like making all their employees sign some NDAs or something. You know what I mean? Like trying to cover their asses because you don't know who's been taping you.
But even those agreements, like if people like, even if you sign them, but if you go against it because it's wrong, it really holds no weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it
really actually holds no weight.
Right.
So those are the things that,
it's a scare tactic.
yeah, truth is truth.
Yeah.
And people will uphold you to like these lesser truths. Like, it is true that you signed this, but this truth kind of supersedes that.
Right.
Truth, you know?
And not only that, it's like we live in a day and age now where other people will come to bat for you if they feel like what you're doing is honorable. Like now you can get the backing of a whole nation if they agree with what you're doing or if they believe in what you're doing. You know, you don't need that job won't be a handcuff to you. That NDA won't be, won't matter because the only power in it is that they can take things from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only way that it can even be effective. That's the only way that's the only fear that it can put on you is that I'll lose everything.
And that's where the sacrifice comes into play. Like, what are you willing to give up?
Right.
You know, what comforts? And when you think about it, like, if we, especially with what happened and COVID, everything, like, is it really that as worth? It starts to become, maybe it wasn't as worth as much as I thought it was worth, Maybe it wasn't as valuable.
That's what we were talking about that a couple weeks ago when we were saying, like, would you be willing to, walk away from all the comforts that we have, And I definitely think, like, going through this past year and a half showed, like, a lot of this stuff is meaningless, Yeah. It's really not vital. It's not essential. You know what I mean?
Right. Even like me getting injured, like it puts it into a perspective of, of course you don't want to be hurt. Of course you don't want to be injured, but that's all my mortality. You know what I mean? But the eternal is greater.
Right.
And if I can press into the eternal in my mortality, where I'm dealing with something, I'm in pain, I'm hurting, you know, but I can seek God. I can go into the place of my eternal. I'm not focused on, oh, I got hurt. Oh, this sucks. Just stuck there. But I'm actually looking towards what is he saying out of this? What's going on? What can I learn? And he always shows me something new. You know, there's always something to learn from it.
Yeah, man.
But I think so many people, you get stuck on like, well, how could I? Of course you can prevent things, but you don't know everything, right?
Yeah.
So you can't, and I'm not just talking about getting injured physically, even getting injured mentally, like getting injured in a way
emotionally.
Yeah. Like you can't prevent everything, right? But you got a restoration in him, right? And you can always go to him in your injury, in your fallen state, and he can raise you up. He can raise you up in your confidence. He can encourage you. There's things that can happen because he is the whole. He's whole.
Yeah.
His structure, his body, he's whole in every way, right? But he he was destroyed for us.
Right.
He suffered. So in everything we do, like, because you notice people do that all the time. Like whenever something happens, whatever it is, like, oh, well, you should have did this and you could have did that.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
why didn't you do this?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's already over.
Right.
You can't talk about what you should have did,
That is all in vain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done. It's done. Yeah, we always do that. Monday morning quarterbacking. Stan said it's unity. Where does true unity come from? Yeah, Jake's shirt, unity. Bam. By the way, Stan, how's the beach right now? Are you having fun out there?
Yeah,
Stan's in Ocean City, Maryland.
I was trying to go out there, but a little expensive.
Yeah. They're charging everybody up for that right now. We should rendezvous Stan in on this real quick. If he's chilling right now, get him to get him to Skype in through the rendezvous. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, there was an interesting Psalms that speaks to.
Is this what you were looking for?
No, but you were just talking about
Oh.
what you were saying. Kind of reminded me of it. It's Psalms 127. It says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchmen stay awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. For so he gives his beloved sleep." And then it says, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hands of the warrior, so are the children of one's youth. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with their enemies in the gates." So it's just it's a picture of how we have to put our trust in him, right?
Yeah.
And in that trust, we bear children. I was just thinking about, like, to bear children is like to bear a character trait, because fruit is like character, right? You bear fruit. That's what it says right here. It says, where is it? Blessed. Well, in another, it doesn't say it in this one. Oh yeah, it does. The fruit of the womb is a reward, right? So that fruit has to do with structure, and structure has to do with character, and character is something that is a strong man, because character, you can't penetrate character, right?
Right.
Character is something that, no, I stand in this way and it won't be broken, right? So that's what's going on. The enemy at the gate is always trying to come against us, but when we continue to trust in God, he continues to birth his character in us, right? That's the children, and that's what meets the enemy at the gate,
right?
So he's always teaching us his character, but we got to lay down our own. We got to lay down our own way we think it's supposed to be, all these things, and we start to birth his character,
right?
And that's what true pride is about. That's because the pride of the Father, where we're starting to learn how to be like our Father. The sons. That's what sons are about in the Bible. Son is not just like, son is a title. It's not like a son or daughter. It's more a sonship is a title in the Bible, and it's about whatever I have, I give to you. And princes, they would occupy territories. So it's interesting, like, if you birth another son, that son takes a territory, right? So, or an inheritance.
Right.
So it's like a place that was, it's like you're multiplying and widening your territory through your sons.
Right.
Right. And so in terms of how we look at it is through our character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, through our character, we take another territory. We take another territory. We take another territory. But we're learning how to birth this character and ourselves, this structure. But when we're doing it in vain, that's the other part, right?
Yeah.
It started out like that. They build the house in vain,
Right.
You guard the house in vain. You stay up all night trying to guard your house, but it's all in vain.
Yep.
And that's what I think we're learning, like, right now as in the church, to be able to guard our houses, be able to guard ourselves in the right way, where we're not doing all this stuff and tiring ourselves out and doing all this crap in vain to the point where we don't know what we're doing anymore.
Right.
But humble ourselves.
Yeah, man. All right, let's get into what you had sent me. Talking about veganism, right? And
all the things.
if there is any flaws in this dieting program. Now, we've heard things throughout the years. What's that? Who's that?
It's Stan.
Oh, you got Stan on the line?
Stan, I'm bringing him in now.
Okay. Cool. Well, before we get into this, we'll talk to Stiz real quick.
1 second.
We hear him. We can hear him.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just trying to get the rendezvous to see.
Yo, can you hear us? What's up, bro?
Got a nice little background there.
Really? Where you at, an Airbnb? Oh man, they did you dirty on the Wi-Fi. That's going to be a 2-star review. There he is. Oh, look at that background. That is amazing. Amazing. Like Jesse Lee Peterson
1
said.
second. I'm going to bring him in an overlay.
Okay, yeah. We can hear him though, even when he's not on the screen. I don't know if you can. That's not an overlay. You what you showing there?
That's me.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
My shorts are wet.
Oh, okay.
It
Dang.
rained all day.
There we go.
Wow, man. Yo, it looks nice there.
Oops. That's my bad.
It
Yeah,
looks
it's
real
not bad.
nice. Huh?
Somehow I got him on an echo.
Yeah, same thing. You got to mute the rendezvous you brought in. Mute the monitor on the mixer. Yo, so when did you guys leave to go to Ocean City?
Sunday.
Okay. My mom said hi,
Got here
by the way.
Sunday. Evening. Hey.
So that was like your Father's Day getaway?
Yeah, yep. And then roll right in, to the week.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
So, yep.
Did you guys get to go to the beach at all, or did it rain the whole time?
We went yesterday.
Okay.
Not today. It rained. We actually could have went in the morning, and then at like noon, 1 o'clock, it started raining.
When are you there till?
Friday.
Yo, I can't figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday.
Did you see when we were talking about the Google news article? Did you hear about that?
No.
How
Hold on. What?
Google was they found out that Google had been pretty much funding the Wuhan lab for like over a decade.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. So like, now people are talking about like the conflict of interest of them censoring a lot of the information that people were trying to talk about. They're censoring that, but also they're involved in the funding of what could have possibly created this at the same time. So it's like a huge conflict of interest. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's crazy. Nah, I didn't hear about that, man. That's crazy, man.
I know you heard about
They're
that.
censoring like actual scientists and doctors. And
Yeah. The dude that created the mRNA vaccine was on Brett Weinstein's podcast, and they deleted the post and gave him a strike on his channel because they were talking about the medication that shall not be named as a better You know what I'm saying? And this is the dude that created the mRNA technology. He's the one that invented it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was on Brett Weinstein's podcast, and then YouTube censored him. You know, so
Wow.
it's crazy.
And it goes back to who are you to decide?
Yeah, right. You figured it out, didn't you, John? No, you found it.
Yes, I found it.
Okay. What about the FBI being involved with January 6th? Did you hear about that?
Yeah. It's all coming.
Yep.
Let the truth reveal, man. But you know, what are you gonna do with that information?
Right. I think people just got to learn to stop just blindly just going along with whatever, Don Lemon tells them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I think people need to learn from this. Like,
yeah, when they're going so hard with something, there's an agenda.
There's an
there.
agenda.
Yeah.
When there's dance numbers about getting vaccines, it makes you wonder.
An agenda there.
It makes you wonder. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are y'all trying so hard? Like, y'all putting
Restaurant giving away free food.
Yeah.
To get your jab.
Dude, wasn't it de Blasio that was like, get a vaccine and you get some fries. Get some free French fries. There's places giving out free beer.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Joined in.
Yeah, man.
I know who didn't yet. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is on another level,
Chick-fil-A
man.
is silent.
Chick-fil-A is the only corporation that I don't hate. Not that I don't hate, but that I don't like. I don't distrust. You know what I'm saying? Like all the other ones, they just play all the little stupid games to try to trick you into spending money. Like Chick-fil-A is still closed on Sunday after all these years.
Closed on Sunday.
And all the pressure.
Yeah. All the pressure to bow down to all these other ideologies, they refuse. And they're still doing great. They're opening up more around me than I can even count.
But isn't that what you call character?
That is. Yeah, man.
Because you can't deny that they got good they got good food.
Can't deny they got that good chicken.
They got that good chicken.
Yeah, and good service too.
Yep.
They do got good service.
Yep. They do a great job of hiring people and training people.
Yeah.
Like they care about that. It's difference. There's a difference between that.
The one near me's been messing up lately.
Really?
Yeah. Giving me wrong stuff.
They might have to do more with location than anything.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures that we posted of Sammy Sosa?
No.
See if you can pull this up, John, so he can see it. Can you see that?
You can't hear him.
I can't see it.
He just sees Jake, I guess.
Yeah, so
he doesn't see it. All right. Well, he looks very white. he looks very, very white, bro. Like this dude is going.
I didn't see him before though. So.
Yeah, but it's worse now, man. Like he's just straight up bleaching his skin. All right, man. We just wanted to holler at you real quick, say what's up. Figure we use the rendezvous since we got the technology. Tell Nina we said hi and Stanley,
Enjoy your vacation, guys. Have fun.
Thank you.
All right, man.
You.
We'll holler.
Love y'all.
Love you too, man. Yo,
see you, bro.
We about to go in on vegan, so you could keep watching if you want.
I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching.
Mom said, "How about putting people in a lottery if they get vaccinated?" Yep, there was one state giving out $1 million.
Why do we have?
We got Freddie Jackson logos on our podcast. How dare you?
I don't know how that happened.
How dare you?
You know what? It's like a default, I guess. So when his screen went out.
Oh, when the rendezvous went away.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta get the screen capture back on.
So
veganism. So we've talked about it in the past. We've played videos. We've
Yeah.
kind of touched on how like there are some deficiencies in that diet that most people try to supplement with.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing like what you're about to show here is about like how a lot of stuff long term it doesn't really make sense.
Anything, just to give a little background, I've done some study on this. When you eat a lot of vegetables, they give off stressors, right? Especially raw stuff.
Yeah.
They give off stressors, which is toxins,
Yeah.
to keep you from eating it,
Right.
basically. So,
And it's so crazy how that works when you really do the research on it, like how it's not good to eat a lot of raw vegetables because of the toxins that get released because of that's like their way of trying to survive and keep you
the
from eating
defense
them.
mechanism.
Yeah. So that's why we cook them a little bit.
Yeah. And even cooking them, you still can get some of that toxin. But the thing is, it's not bad in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's actually good for you to have some stress.
Mm-hmm.
But what the issue is when you go totally vegan, you're putting all that stress on your body every single day.
Well, if you're doing like a raw vegan though, right? Because there's a
Raw
lot of
vegan or even vegan. Raw vegan worse. Yes.
Right.
Raw vegan worse.
But I'm saying like there's a lot of people that their vegan diet consists of vegan sausage and cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Can
And
be
French
a little
fries.
different. Yeah. But you're definitely depleting yourself of a lot of minerals and
Yeah.
and
Just on the side note, real quick,
micronutrients basically.
I made tacos today and I went to the store to get refried beans and all of the cans said vegan on them. Because it's like a selling point, But it's refried beans, like
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So, and then on the other side you have meat. Meat is more satiating. It's more of a de-stressor for your body. Your body. What is good about meat is that it takes time to process. So it puts your body. You'll lose more calories just processing that meat, right? But it's packed with micronutrients and macro,
Right.
like the protein, of course, and fat. Fat is good for you.
Right.
It's not too much fat is obviously not good for you.
Right.
It's like too much of anything. So you have the good protein. When you try to do protein on a vegan diet, you can do it, but it's just you need so much more to
Right.
get the efficient amount.
Yeah, so like people are trying to do like pea protein and stuff like
Right.
that. But
That's one of the big ones.
Yeah, but you have to get the powder because like how you can't sit there and eat a whole bucket of peas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and it's not as effective.
it's
Like,
not as bio available in your body.
Yeah.
The protein doesn't process the same way
Right.
when you take it in that way.
Right. You're not going to take it in as much. You're going to need more basically to.
And you still have to supplement like B12, certain vitamins that you don't get from those proteins.
Right. So they're finding like the stress that it's putting on the body is, it's pretty bad over long term.
Right.
And there are some people who can deal with it. Like I'm not saying everybody is going to be horrible on a vegan diet, but the majority of people,
they hit a certain point and then it becomes detrimental.
right.
And just like any diet change up or any drastic change to what you eat, initially when you do it, you're going to see a bunch of benefits that make you think like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, just like keto,
The carnivore diet,
Yeah.
but to say that it's like a lifestyle that you could sustain forever is probably, flawed in many
right.
ways.
It's definitely flawed in veganism.
yeah.
Like carnivore, I would say probably. I mean, I haven't. It's not been a long-term thing in most.
Yeah.
Like it's not that documented, so we don't really know. But
Yeah, that's a newer thing.
yeah,
There's a couple people that did it like back in the 60s
Yeah.
that we know about, but even that wasn't very strategically documented, so we
Right.
don't know Like,
we don't know long term.
yeah.
But I think just because we've gone so far into processed foods, carnivore is beneficial because it takes you away from a lot of that. You know?
Right.
Just like plants, you know. But the thing is with plants, again, they're stressors to your body, so they're going to cause a lot of stress. So now you're starting to see a lot of these people. One big thing is teeth decay. Like that was one of the bigger. Teeth decay is a crazy thing with veganism.
Yeah, there was you want to play that video since you brought it up?
Yeah, we can play that.
You said like a minute in, right?
Yeah, because I don't know what they're doing.
There's always mouth issues, no matter how hard I tried to keep up on it. And especially the last 2 years went from being very focused on oral hygiene to being literally obsessed. Every meal, flossing, brushing, mouthwash 3 to 6 times a day, and my teeth keep getting worse and worse and worse. Every dentist I went to across the board, and I'm including like vegan hippie dentists, they all said, you can't eat a sugar diet and expect your teeth to be healthy, period. It doesn't matter how much your mouth is healthy with hygiene. If you're eating those foods, especially like me, I was eating a ton of grains and a ton of fruit. I couldn't keep up with it. So that was one thing. That was one of the main things that I was like, this is.
Let me pause it real quick because even like I was watching a whole thing on teeth. I think it might have been a Joe Rogan podcast years ago, and a nutritionist was talking about that like a lot of people are under the misconception that like eating candy and stuff is what causes tooth decay, but it's really more about a dietary deficiency. It's more about eating a lot of processed foods, carbs, things like that, that cause the tooth decay. Yeah. You know, it's not really like sugar gets stuck in your teeth, and like that can cause problems too, but it's more about nutrition. So this makes a lot of sense.
Showing signs of going in the wrong direction right now. So that was a major issue.
So our daughter was born 6 years ago. When she was a year old, she started getting dental caries, right when her teeth came out of the gums. Dental caries are when your teeth just chip away. So our little girl, her teeth started chipping off, and at the time we were still doing mostly plant foods, some animal foods. We just thought, oh, you don't need that much meat. You need some, but you don't need that much. And as soon as we took notice of her rotting teeth,
you hear how that Blue Yeti sounds, John?
Nutrition and physical degeneration. Started learning about Weston Price. So we started giving her like cod liver oil, raw beef liver. She started eating raw heart, lots of butter, and animal fats. And the dental caries stopped within months.
Wow.
And then our second kid, who was born a few years later, normally each subsequent birth is harder on the mom. You know, the mother gets more nutrient depleted. So usually the later kids have more health problems. But our son, his teeth are totally fine. So it wasn't a genetic thing. It was more of an epigenetic type situation.
It's my teeth. I had to have them all redone. They were all rotting at the roots because of the fructose. Damn it! There's nothing of use that your body has with fructose. Okay.
I had a period in the winter, so I was back in the winter months, and I would have this like intense pain coming down into my teeth, like. My whole mouth was just, it felt like I had been in a boxing match. Like, that's what it felt like. It was just this deep ache. And then I was having a hard time sleeping. And then I just had this tooth just break open.
Oh, wow.
And I don't even know what I was eating. It was like a nut pate or something. It wasn't even anything hard, and it just cracked open. And I was crunching on it, and I was like, what is in this food? And then I looked, I was like, pulled it out, this chunk of my tooth. And I was like, what the hell? And so I've always had amazing teeth. I never had a single cavity in my entire life up to year 35. Like, nothing. Like, I always go in, they take x-rays, and they're like, you look awesome. See you next year, you know? And I couldn't believe it. And then I started like going, what's going on with my teeth? And I started looking closer, and like you know, if you have good teeth, you don't look at them very carefully. It's not like something I brush and I do some hygiene, but I never really like look too closely. Start seeing the gum lines are way up here. My teeth are looking like see-through in a couple places, and blah blah blah, just problematic. Like, and I knew that pain that I was feeling.
Real quick, so one thing that people don't realize is that protein is not just for your muscles; it's also for your bone, and your all the connector tissues,
right? The cartilage, the ligaments, all of that.
Right. It's the foundation for your body. So if you're, they're on these. Not only are you bringing stress, but you're lacking that macronutrients that your body needs, right? And you're not getting that protein in the way you need to get it. So you start to see that, like teeth start becoming clear, your gums start receding, like all these things, because your body's pulling back. Your body's shrinking back.
Right.
Because you're not giving it what it needs.
Your body's pulling protein from other areas of your body. That's what will happen.
It's eating itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to say, okay, well, you don't necessarily need this right now, so I can use that.
Right. Because you're putting so much stress on your body feels like it's starving itself in a way, So that's what you're seeing, like, with a lot of this.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's move on to, you had this clip from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan podcast is a lot of good stuff on there. So this is Miley Cyrus talking about her vegan.
Yeah, her vegan experience.
To take all the things, omega, was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because my brain wasn't functioning properly. And
don't tell that to the vegans; they'll come for you.
They're gonna come for me, but that's okay. I'm used to people coming for me, and it's gonna be that I calm out.
Salary.
No, listen. If I give home, I have 22 animals on my farm in Nashville. I've got 22 in my house in Calabasas. Like, I'm doing what I need to do for the animals. Okay. But when it comes to my brain, you're not vegan.
No,
you can't be vegan and living this kind of and being this quick. But sure, you can. Some people can. I cannot, because it was really giving. I was having a lot of.
What did it do for your brain?
I feel that I'm
slowed you down.
Now I'm so much sharper than I was, and I think that I was at one point pretty malnutrition. Like, I remember going to Glastonbury, and that was a show that I loved. I loved my performance, but I was running on empty. Like, I was on. Empty.
Can I ask you? Were you doing a vegan diet, like, meticulous?
The strictest you've ever known.
But were you doing it intelligently? Like, were you
did all my
supplementing the right
supplements.
way?
I do all my protein drinks.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's another thing causes fog. What?
Just that thumbnail. You can't see it now, but that thumbnail of that Joe. It was a thumbnail of Joe Biden. It was hilarious.
Start with something that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another thing, like the brain fog.
Yeah.
Causes it's another issue. Because omegas, like she was saying, which come from fish, omega 6s, omega 3s, sorry.
Right.
Come from fish. They come from other sources too. But those are things that help the brain function in the right way. And it's hard to get that from a vegan diet. And your body can learn how to work off of different things. It's like, because some people, if you look at society, like some people didn't have fish, in their region. So it's not like you can't get it from sheep or cat, cows or deer.
Right. Right.
You can get stuff from anything. Your body can shift off of it, but again, it's that meat protein. It's life. It's what has life in it, and there has been like a disconnect with meat in this country, especially with how they slaughter meat and But I know
factory farming.
they're doing better with that now. You know,
a lot of people are learning how to do it sustainably and more humane and more. But now there's this push. You know, a lot of these politicians, especially on the left, are trying to like monitor the amount of meat people consume. You know, I saw something about Biden pushing some plan to like lower people's meat consumption to like 2 pounds per month or something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
That's crazy.
But it was something like that.
Yeah, I eat like 2 pounds a day.
Right.
2 pounds a month. And who, like, this is America. You know what I mean? Who do you think you are? I don't know if that's really a thing, dude.
Biden will cut your red meat consumption by 90%. He plans to cut red meat consumption by 90%, animal products by 50% in his Green New Deal proposal. Americans will have to cut their red meat consumption by a whopping 90% and cut their other animal-based foods in half. Gradually making those changes by 2030 could see a diet-related greenhouse gas emissions. So it's all in the name of, like, you know, Green New Deal, green energy.
So you see what happens when we let things go.
Look, to reach the goal, the outrageous goal, it would require Americans to only consume about 4 pounds of red meat per year.
Per year?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
That roughly average, it would roughly be one average sized burger per month. Like, this is what they're proposing.
That's crazy.
And it's so crazy how, like, you see them coming after meat for some reason. You see them.
But
like,
why? Because they want men to be weak.
Mm-hmm.
They want men to shrink back. And that was the other one, like, that I wanted to show because it shows the deterioration of the decay or the deterioration of people who, a lot of people who go on these diets.
So this is like before, what?
Yeah.
Yo. That can't be. That's the same dude?
Same dude, yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like they're on drugs.
Yeah.
Like they have those kind of bodies, you know, that it looks like
or suffering from anorexia or body dysmorphia or something. Yeah.
Like, how is that healthy?
There's no way you can be under the impression that you're healthy looking. Like, look at this guy. He looks like you could break him. Yikes.
Yeah.
Smearing avocado on his skin. Yeah, you see the teeth.
Mm-hmm. See how the body just like retracts?
Yeah.
And the muscle starts to go away.
Hi there. I'm currently drinking my own urine.
What?
I know. It seems strange, right? Fulfillment comes from what Maya has to offer. Isn't that what the AI matrix aims?
Oh,
That's the same guy?
Yeah.
To display.
The key is to find out what our purpose is through meditation. Again, if our minds are racing and we can't meditate,
You know,
Calypso.
we really shouldn't be eating meat. You know, as a Christian, we need to show that our bodies are the temple of God. 1999, when I totally surrendered my life to the Lord and decided to change my diet and went on a completely plant-based diet. I got into this condition or this position where I had to have my gallbladder removed emergently.
Man, you live there all by yourself? With your dog?
Half his teeth are gone.
It's a brain reset. It's a factory brain reset.
I have noticed a lot more muscle definition. So, if you check that out, woo! By the way, I don't actually work out. Like, I haven't worked out.
That's called delusion
I'm in a
right
healing
there.
mode.
So I can't wait to find a man who also has this lifestyle, like have healthy children, and when we're like 55, we'll go jogging with our kids because we'll still be in such great shape. I can see people eating dead flesh. How can we stay really connected, even if we have an open relationship? Dead flesh.
Going vegan is something that's gonna happen naturally when you have your spiritual awakening. I'm the chosen one. A lot of y'all motherfuckers is walking around with fear and y'all scared all the time. Y'all got social anxiety and all this different shit. The fear in these animals is in you. Everything is energy. Here go the milk that I use. Y'all see that? Unsweetened. I try to get it as natural as
I
possible.
feel like all these people like go down to Peru and take ayahuasca and like
Yeah.
do all, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of them go down that route.
Like
yeah.
this is
They
like
start
that
getting
whole
into
culture.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is intertwined in that spirituality stuff. And
Yep.
and in Miami, that's becoming a heavy thing now. Like all these ayahuasca shamans are moving to Miami now. All of these white people that are like learning how to make the brew, and they're open up these what are they called? Like the huts that they're doing it in Miami now. But that's one of the things I was watching. One of them, they were interviewing him, and he was saying like one of the things that he does is he doesn't let anyone consume any animal products like 3 days before, up to 3 days before they do the ceremony, because if they do during the ceremony, they will feel the pain of that animal. You know what I mean? Like they will have a bad trip because they'll experience the death of that animal. Like it's craziness, like weird stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think like in terms of eating animals, there is like more of we do have to recognize like we are eating a life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the other side of it, is that we've become so detached from what that really is.
Right.
We've become the process of like taking a life to sustain your life. Like we're totally disconnected from that.
Right.
And people have no concept of it. It's just like you buy a pack of chicken wings. It's like to you, that's just like, it's just something I buy at the store. You don't think about the 13 chickens that got slaughtered to give you that pack of wings,
Right. Yeah.
And the process of how they're raised. So we don't understand like chickens that are raised by you, that are raised with a good life, then for you to consume them, there is something about that matters, you know?
Yeah. But that's why we thank God for what we're eating.
Right.
That's why there's a thanks involved and,
Right.
and an appreciation for what we're eating.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, we become disconnected, and then there's a lack of respect, lack of honor, a lack of
honor, for
appreciation for the life that comes from God.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I hear people say all the time, like, "Oh, I don't eat chicken with bones in it." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like
that's how detached we are from, what it is.
Amber's
one of those. I hear people say that all the time.
No, Leslie too.
It's like I don't eat chicken. I don't want no bones in my chicken. It's like that's because we're so caught up in the conveniences that have become our normal.
Yeah, I have to tell my kids like these come from animals that were alive.
Yeah,
and they died, and you're eating. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling them just so they understand. Like this
matters.
This isn't just something you know. So yeah, that side of it.
That's why I think it's
matter.
important that if you can, and I want to at some point, is have some animals, have some like some chickens or something that you can, because I noticed it just from like my kids helping me plant in the garden and learning how that works. And now they want to eat stuff like that more because they feel connected to it a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's important, man. And we just totally, we don't even, what?
So when I went on that trip when you guys couldn't go, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I
I was there when they slaughtered the chicken.
Thanks, Mom.
I had to hold it while my uncle chopped his neck off. But
you held it?
Yeah. But it's a good experience. I mean, I still ate that chicken.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like you getting to experience that is something that we need to do. We need to see more, especially as when we're young, because
when you're around these animals your whole life, like when you see them born and grow up.
How much more do you honor them by providing you with food when they have to die?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my wife and James, they talk about it all the time. Like their chickens had names. You know what I mean? Like but then it becomes food. Like it's a different way.
Yeah, and you can't. Of course, like people take it to a whole nother extreme, especially in America, because it's easy when you're detached and that does make sense. Yeah. Veganism,
right, because it's also like, we shouldn't be killing.
It's bad energy.
These animals deserve to live just as much as us.
Yeah,
and it's like PETA and save the animals. Yeah,
but there's a whole nother thing that we don't understand, and they give us life for a reason.
Yeah,
and again, we honor that. But you're seeing when you go that vegan route. And you start to add the other things that are attached to it, like the spiritualism and all that stuff.
And it seems like that's usually attached. Like all those people that they showed, like they're on a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I think that ideology has infected a lot of the culture here in America.
Yeah,
especially because of Hollywood.
Yeah,
but
the men look like. Weak.
Yeah.
The men look like, and even though they look like death.
Right.
Like at some point they're looking like death.
Now let me pull up a picture of Sean Baker, who is like one of the most famous carnivore. He only eats meat. His diet is the carnivore diet. Let me see, Dr. Sean Baker. But he's like got a huge following on Instagram, of course, and he's always like showing stuff. Let's look at this guy. Man, he's well into he's 52 years old in this picture. And all he eats is meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there is a difference.
Yeah.
There's a clear difference.
I know just from like the last few months of me like really diving into this and reading up on protein and how important it is and starting to see how it connects to everything. I've been intaking a certain amount of protein every day.
Especially as you get older, right? It's more important.
Yeah. But just to see like the gains I've been making, I'm not in a gym. I got little weights at home and stuff, but I'm not lifting all kinds of weight, but my mass is increasing.
Right.
My muscle mass is increased a lot. It's increased a lot. So it's just crazy. Just to take in that protein, and you do a little bit, you start to see a huge difference.
I ordered my protein.
Yeah, that's right. You ordered it today.
I got the banana flavored one.
Yeah. And mom started taking protein.
Yeah.
She's 65 now.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Mom! She
Happy
just turned
birthday.
65. But she's stronger than some men in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way,
65.
Mom said, King James Bible, for every creature of God is good and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving. He's talking about 1 Timothy 4:4.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about, Thanksgiving. Because, I mean, when you look at Adam and Eve were naked, and that's really what it's about. Like, we don't need to eat animals if we weren't deprived of life, right? But because of our own issues, right? That's why the whole sacrifice thing came into play, right? So, we're sacrificing animals, but for what? It's for our life. And why do we need that life? Why do we need that life? Because we've lost that life.
Because we're dying.
So animals are giving up their lives for our life, and and men are the dominant. I don't want to say it like that, but men were given dominion on this earth.
I mean, you say it like you mean it, you know.
When man sinned, when Adam and Eve were naked, God sacrificed an animal, right, and put the skins on them.
Skins on them, yeah.
So to cover them, to cover their nakedness,
right, and that was the first sacrifice.
That was the first sacrifice,
mm-hmm.
And that's when you look at Israel, they sacrificed thousands and thousands of animals,
right,
you know, throughout the year.
That's where we get the term scapegoat from,
right? None of it went to waste.
Yeah,
you know, it was all eaten, of course, but they did a lot of sacrifice. And of course, we don't have to do it in that way anymore. That's why we had Jesus,
mm-hmm.
right? But we're still living in this lesser state,
mm-hmm.
right? We're not in that eternal state right now. Like I said earlier, you know, I just got injured.
Right.
I got to eat protein to get back. That's my mortal body, you know? So we're still dealing with this mortal state, but that doesn't mean that we're not coming into that eternal state.
Yeah.
You know, so,
and I think like it's something I say all the time, like veganism is a diet of the privileged, because it's like when you look at it throughout time, it's about survival. Food is about survival, right? So when you look at a lot of these cultures that had to hunt, you know, like freaking Eskimos had to live off of seal meat or whatever, you know, they could find, because there's no plant life there. You gonna be a vegan in the middle of the ice?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? You got to eat
Inuit,
blubber.
yeah.
They would eat tons of like organ meat and blubber and stuff like that, because but they survived for thousands of years.
Probably
like
the only culture in the Inuit culture.
Yeah.
That, like they're basically carnivore.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all they got.
But they were real big on organ meats.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people deprive themselves of that as well. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did some research on it. You don't necessarily need organ meat, but it can help, you know, if you're deprived of other things, like you can eat that organ meat. You don't need it.
I
ain't eating no organ meat.
I think organ meat is probably the most nutrient dense of the meats, though. You probably don't need it, but there's a reason why, like a lot of the tribes, when they would go make the kill, the head would get the best organ meat right on the spot.
Liver,
you know what I mean?
Liver is definitely one of those.
Definitely the liver.
It's nutrients dense, but
yeah,
I'm not a fan of.
It's hard to get by the taste of that stuff. But
I think from when we were kids, you know, mom giving us liver
and onions.
Ugh,
yeah,
not a fan.
Do y'all eat liver? I know Italians eat liver.
It's not my favorite thing. I'll cook anything else before that.
Yeah.
I don't mess with no liver. In Japan, they got us to eat liver. They said it made us strong where it counts.
What kind of liver?
Eel liver.
Eel liver?
Eel.
Yeah, they were like, the guy was like.
They always say that. They say that about everything. And it's always an animal that's kind of like in a phallic kind of shape. They always say if you eat that, it, you know, like rhinoceros horn, you know, it's always, if you eat that meat of an animal, they always say.
They're always trying to get you to eat something.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
But I don't have a problem with, Stan said, no organ meat. I don't have a problem with duck liver, chicken liver. Like, that's pretty good to me. I can eat that.
Yeah.
That's a no for me.
If it's made right, a real good, like, pate or something, it's good.
Okay. Yeah.
You ever have that? You ever have a good pate?
I've had it, but I can't remember. You know what I mean? It wasn't memorable to me.
Fogwa, you ever have that?
No, I don't think so.
That's really good. That's really good.
I've heard of it, but never had it.
But the way they make that is ridiculous, because they take ducks and they like shove tubes in their mouth and force feed them, so they get really, really fat, and their liver gets really like overrun with fat. You know, like you get the real fatty livers. They basically torture these ducks to get their liver to be really fatty.
Wow.
And then they take that and grind it up with white wine and like butter and stuff and herbs. And then you eat that.
That sounds a little crazy.
But it's a delicacy, man. But It is awesome, and it melts like butter, boy. It's really fatty. Like
I mean,
really
I love
fatty,
like
dude.
liverwurst.
Yeah,
You know what I
same
mean?
thing. But liverwurst comes from what? Cows? Cow liver? I don't know.
But I think
don't know
that's
for
like
sure.
that's not all just liver.
No,
right?
it's mixed up. It's mixed up with stuff.
So like, yeah, I can do.
But that's what I'm saying. Like foie gras is like it's a really fatty duck liver, but then it's mixed with like white wine and other things, and they make it into a paste. You eat that on some bread or a cracker. It's good.
Okay. Yeah, so I went to the hospital, and when I was like, my diet was horrible. My blood pressure was higher. Like it's probably like 130 something over whatever. It was 100 now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, like, even with that, and that happened to me the last time I went on keto too. You just seen the blood pressure went down. So, like, even with your blood pressure, and it's a whole different ball game when you're eating right. You know, when you're eating right, when you're eating the right foods
Properly, yeah.
in the right way. Because just eating salad is not gonna work.
No.
You know.
I mean, lettuce has no nutrition in it at all.
Yeah. But it's something you can eat. Like, I ate salad today.
Yeah.
But I ate a lot of protein in the salad, you know.
If you eat the darker greens, like the arugulas and like those leaves have more nutrients, but like the iceberg lettuce,
But even if you eat iceberg lettuce, like,
is that like 90% water?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still good because it's not a lot of calories.
Yeah.
So you can eat it and get full on it.
Right.
Right. But if you're eating, like, I can eat
If you
that.
eat that every day, though, yeah.
If you eat it and you're not eating, if you're eating that and then you're just eating tomatoes with it, and, you know what I mean, some, I don't know, carrots, that's not a good diet.
Right,
you
because
know?
those are high in sugar and acids.
Right. But if you're like chicken, like chicken breast, or even like ground beef or whatever, you're putting that in there, some eggs,
Yeah.
you know, boiled
That's why
eggs.
Caesar salad is actually one of the best ones without the croutons. Like,
Yep, that's what I had.
Yeah.
And then you get a good Caesar dressing.
Yeah. Good Caesar dressing have eggs in it. You know, the real ones.
Or avocado oil. But it's because the oils are important too. But yeah, you eat in that way. Like, you can turn some iceberg lettuce into something where you're filling yourself up more, because that's the main thing. Like, when you want to lose weight, you just want to eat less calories.
Yeah.
You know, but you want to eat meat protein. You know, you want protein.
Right.
So how can I eat the right amount of protein but not, you know, kill my calories?
Yeah.
You know.
Stan said, I've eaten pig heart and eyeball before, though.
What?
Stan did eat pig heart. I remember that. I've eaten a lot of hearts, but not a pig heart. Like, I've had many, like, bird hearts and like fish hearts. But
I've had fish eyeballs.
Yeah, I never ate the eyeball. What's it taste like?
Ain't nothing. It's just juicy.
Mom says she likes liver and onions. Nope.
You were shaking your leg while I was picking it up.
Stan said, wife is Portuguese, so New Year dinner is a whole pig. Whole pig. I guess, like, everything, like the liver, everything.
The whole thing.
Kidneys. Stan said, kale and lettuce can assist in flushing you out. And that's the other thing, is like, yeah, vegetables are good for that. Fiber, things like that. Like, they're meant to clean out your system every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and they're meant to stress your body a little bit.
But the fiber actually, like, cleans out the walls of your intestine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because your body doesn't digest the fiber. So
right. So everything has, you know, you like, if you're so messed up, like, that's why for me I had to, like, go away from eating carbs at all, right? But then I slowly introduced them back into my intake, and now I know, like, because I play soccer, you know, because I know, like, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna be doing a lot where I'm losing a lot of calories, I'll eat more carbs.
Mm-hmm. Beforehand or after?
Before, but even after, you can have some, you know.
Mhm.
But more before you do it.
Yeah.
Especially like if we have a game or something, I'll eat more carbs. But when days where I'm really not doing much, I'm not eating no carbs because I don't need to. I'm going to eat mostly meat.
Now, does it benefit you more to intake protein before you work out or after?
There's benefits in both ways, but you get a better benefit after. Like it'll benefit you before or after, but it benefits you more after because once you work out, especially if you work out like in a fasted state, your body like 1 to 2 hours after the time you work out is in that like prime state to intake, you know, everything because it's open. It's like you're literally opened up, right? To take stuff in.
Right.
So
because your body goes into a state of like, oh, all this vigorous, you know, work, we need some energy intake. So it opens itself up to receive energy from anywhere.
Right.
So if you're taking in a pizza after that,
it's gonna take it in. But
you like a lot of women like to like go jogging and then go eat ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's no good.
Not a good move.
No.
Because I'm saying that because my wife would do some stuff like that. Go for a walk and then be like, okay,
I
ice
could
cream
do
time.
that.
Yeah, I can have that.
Right.
But no, I'm thinking because for me, you know, I usually work out at night. Like last night I went to the gym, but I usually go to bed right after.
Yeah, but so for you, like, you could probably get a protein shake after, and that would be good because protein goes right into your system.
So it doesn't
it's
sit
not
on
gonna
you
sit,
while I sleep.
Protein,
but will that mess up my fasted state though? It will because
yeah, it will. But I mean, like if you want to get that intake, like that quick intake, if you take like 2 scoops of protein, that's like perfect. That's 50 grams. Usually that's around 50 grams of protein. So if you take that, it'll go right into your system after you work out, and then when you go to sleep, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
If you eat a steak or something, that's
right.
gonna sit on you.
I wouldn't.
You know?
I wouldn't do that.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, man.
It's so crazy how like all these years, you know, all this science, all of this like. They're still not fully understanding how the body works. Like we're learning. Yeah, we're learning more. Yeah,
you know,
learning more. Absolutely,
learning more. But yeah,
but it wasn't. How long ago was it that they believed that, you know, like fat was bad?
Yeah, cholesterol's
bad.
Like, red meat cause heart.
I was
disease.
just thinking about how we grew up on country crock.
Yeah.
My remember used to buy country crock all the time.
Yep.
We grew up on that. Like we used to slather that on our toast every morning.
Yeah, vegetable oil, butter,
and like,
margarine.
Wasn't that invented like because of some manufacturing thing that they figured out a way to use like something that they couldn't sell?
It was by accident.
Yeah. And then they realized that like they could turn it into margarine.
I can't believe it's not butter.
That's another one. It's like...
Yeah, I remember always thinking that there was butter and then it would be like mom just put rice in there.
Yeah.
Or something
yeah,
crazy.
she would always use those containers again. But yeah, like that concept of like the marketing behind that where it's like, it's healthier than butter. It's made from plants, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's got to be better than butter. Butter's fat, you know? And not realizing that like real well-made butter is so much better for you.
Corn oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's another, like, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Like, when you're running, you go into different, like, you're using more carbs.
Right.
But when you're walking, you're using more fats. When your body's in the right, you know, optimal shape and is at, what's the word? I guess, when it's working the way it needs to work, you know, when you're not all out of.
But if you're in ketosis, does your body still, if you're running, does it still run off of carbs?
The thing is, you can be in ketosis by just being an athlete. Like you can be like that. They're finding that like you can be in ketosis because you work out. Like working out, lifting weights actually causes you to be in ketosis quicker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're eating carbs. You know what I mean? So like even that is starting to change a little bit in how we view it. But it's really about your body's adaptation. Like you have to be properly adapted to everything, to the fats, to the carbs. You know, the issue is when we're eating all those processed foods, we start to reject the fats. We start to reject the proteins. Not reject them, but when you're eating it with the carbs, and then you're not going to intake it in the right way, right? Because you get those blockers, you get those insulin blockers. They start blocking stuff so your body's not going to take it in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's causing issues, and also the oxidation with the protein, with the red meat, you know, and that's what they get confused with the heart disease and all that. Like, don't eat red meat. No, it's just how we eat everything else with the red meat that's causing the issue. That's
what, when I was watching an epidemiologist talk about the studies that they did about how red meat was linked to heart disease and high cholesterol and all that, is because the questionnaires that they were using was about, like, most of the people that ate red meat were smokers. They were also eating like loads of potatoes and drinking beer with every meal. It's like, so then they act like the red meat was the cause of everything, but it was their whole entire lifestyle. It just happened that most people with that lifestyle preferred red meat more. You know?
There was another like question. They get people out with these questionnaire things, right? Because that's how they just, and you just answer questions, and then okay, well, these people do this, right? So there was one about fasting, and it was saying that, well, people who eat in the morning actually are more healthy than the people who would fast, but they're not put into like the people who, and this was like early 2000, like maybe around 2010, 2011. Yeah. So the fasting thing wasn't really a thing. Intermittent fasting wasn't really a thing yet. Yeah. So what these people, I think it might even been like 2008, but they were doing it based off of people who at that time, what were people saying?
Breakfast is the most important meal
exactly.
of the day. Yeah.
So people who were more like trying to be more healthy are gonna eat breakfast. Yeah. People who skip breakfast were usually the ones that would smoke. Yeah. They're usually the ones that are gonna.
Or we're up late at night drinking. And party.
Right. They're the ones not taking care of their body, or even consciously trying to take care of their body.
Yeah. These studies are always flawed in those ways. Mm-hmm. That's why it's like when you hear these things, you can't just go with them blindly. Right. You got to look at how they were conducted.
Yeah.
You know?
So a lot of these questionnaires, they're asking these questions to people, but the people who are answering them, what are the reasons or purposes behind? Mm-hmm. Like, they're not asking those questions. Right. You know, why are you doing this? Well, that's what they found. Well, the reason why most people were doing it was because they're eating breakfast because they said, oh, it's more healthy to eat.
Most important meal of the day.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
Eat a big breakfast.
And the people who didn't care. They just going out whatever. Yeah. You know, they're doing whatever. Right. Oh, if I get breakfast, I get breakfast. I don't. You know, so yeah, it all matters in that way. Like how we're dealing with our life. And it's all about, like, if you're conscious about it, you're gonna do something, you know. You're going to be more healthy than somebody who's just straight up ignorant and don't care, don't want to know. Yep. You know, but eventually the one who, if you do care, but you become religious in something that's not working for you, then you're just as bad as the one who wants to stay ignorant.
Right.
Right.
And that's where we are with this veganism stuff that you were showing. It's like it becomes a religion in a sense. Yeah. It becomes a religion.
Like keto or any of these things, like any of these fad diets, that they can become religious, you know, where it worked for me, so that's what it is. Well, really it's like it all depends, like, what are you doing? Like, that's what you got to look at. What are you doing every day? Everybody's different, you know. What I'm doing, we play soccer, you know, that's taxing on the body. We need to implement that in the right way. But at first I just had to get rid of all the carbs because I had to make sure that my body was adapted. Right. So yeah, it's about learning. You're always learning, you know, and always getting better. And all right, what am I doing? What do I need to do now? You know, and that's the point of it. That's what we learn, like as being children of God,
right?
You know, and it takes away from the religion that keeps us dead, like keeps us dead, wants us to die. To where we're growing in life because we realize, okay, this isn't working that I did before. Why isn't it? Right? And that's where we seek wisdom, seek understanding, and we start to come to realize, all right, I gotta let this go. I gotta do this thing. And that was the scripture I wanted to read.
What was it?
Time a way to end it, but it has to do with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's in James. Let's see if I can find it because it went away.
Well, while you're reading that, Mom said, yes, never buy those margarine poisons anymore. Ever since I've been drinking protein, I've been moving my bowels more. Thanks for that, Mom. And then she said, the people that ate big breakfasts were the farmers that had to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to work the land. Yeah, that's very, very true. We live these sedentary lifestyles where it's not required of you. I mean, you know, a lot of people back in the day had to work lands. They had tough manual labor, so they would, and there was no way to carry a lunch with you, so you would have to eat a big breakfast to sustain you all the way to dinner.
Right.
Maybe you could carry like a piece of bread or something with you as a snack, but or if you know, get some fruit or something during the day. But for the most part, that big breakfast was going to sustain you through your work until dinner, you know, till you get home.
Yeah. And that's what it's about.
Yep.
And I can't find it. Where is this at? I wanted to find a certain one because it's a certain translation of James. But I hate when everything goes away. Let's see. All right, here we go. So it's James 3:13-18. I'm reading it from the CJB version. So it says, "Who among you is wise and understanding? Let him demonstrate it by his good way of life, by actions done in the humility that grows out of wisdom. But if you harbor in your heart bitter jealousy and selfish ambition, don't boast and attack the truth with lies." I thought that was interesting. So don't attack the truth. Don't attack what was. Truth is always about what's been settled, right? Mm-hmm. What's been settled. True wisdom. Wisdom is what's settled in your life, and this is what works, right? What we do. Because wisdom is about skill, right? What you do. So it's what's settled in your life, what you're doing. But a lie is always going to want to attack it because it wants to uproot that wisdom, that truth, right?
Right.
So then it says, this wisdom is not the kind that comes down from above. On the contrary, it is worldly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where there are jealousies and selfish ambitions, there will be disharmony and every foul practice. So these are practices, these are skills, these are things we practice, but they don't come from above, and they're rooted in jealousy and selfish ambition. So when we're trying to prove we were talking about this earlier, trying to prove ourselves, you know, trying to be glorified, trying to look smart, trying to look like, instead of like, no, I just really want like genuineness, wanting to really have peace in your life, wanting to truly, there's people who want it. They might go the wrong route, but it's the intent is what I'm saying. It's that intent. If they keep going, they're going to find it, you know? And just because they might not be there all the way from your standards doesn't mean they're not going to find it.
Right.
You know. And it says, but wisdom from above is first pure. And when you think about that, first pure, it means uncontaminated. You know what I mean? Uncontaminated, set apart, right? Something that can't be contaminated. So that wisdom is first pure, then peaceful. And you know what peaceful means? To make whole, right? And so that's a process of like making something work where it didn't work. Your body, having peace in your body, what is injured, right, is being restored in your body.
Right.
That's that kind of peace. So it's first pure, then peaceable or profitable, right? What's truly profitable. And it's funny because a lot of things that are profitable, truly profitable, aren't monetarily profitable in life. That's why, like, we were talking about the breathing, like the nose breathing last week. It's not profitable, so they don't talk about that. They know nothing about that. In a lot of you're not going to hear this in a lot of medical doctors, you know, oh, why don't you breathe through your nose? Yeah, like simple things, because it's not profitable.
Right.
It's not
well, that's not the way the medical industry has been set up. It's like, no, we have to diagnose something and prescribe something.
Right. Because that's profitable. Because there's a way, when they prescribe something, a lot of times they're getting a kickback from it, right? Doctors are getting kickbacks. That's why these pharmaceutical companies are going to the doctors, and if you
pitching them on medicines,
you sell this, we're going to give you a little percentage of it, right? So we know that's how it's been working. So of course they're gonna push those things because it's profitable to them. But if they're not making money off of something, it's a shame, but a lot of people won't do it.
Right.
So that's wisdom, right? What's profitable. So, but it's not wisdom. The wisdom of the world is what's profitable in monetary sense. You know what I mean? How can I make money off of this? And that's connected to self-ambition, right? Selfish ambition. So then it says, and then what is kind or gentle? And it's crazy because that word also has to do with what builds upon true intent. What is gentle and kind? That word in the Greek speaks about what builds upon true intent.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what's kind. That's what is gentle, right? And then it says that true wisdom is about being willing to yield, right? Open to reasoning. So, but you can be tricked there, you know. We all have to be open to the truth. None of us have the full truth.
Right.
None of us have all understanding. You know, that's why we need each other. That's why I'm wearing the shirt, unity, because it's true unity brings about strength.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're making each other. I don't have all the answers. That what I do have, I can give, and what you have, you can give, and then we can become stronger together.
Right.
But apart, we're not as strong. And then it says it's full of mercy, and mercy is about covenant loyalty. That's literally about, like, if I'm in a marriage, even though my wife is acting up, my covenant loyalty towards her is going to cover her past her ability to deal with things, right?
Right.
To be angry, to snap, to do something wrong, to make a mistake, whatever. My mercy over her is a covenant loyalty, is an agreement in my loyalty to her, not to do whatever she says or to agree with everything she says,
right?
But to cover her when she can't do it herself, right? That's different. So that's wisdom, right? It's just interesting how all this is in this little, and it's talking about what real wisdom is. And then it says, so mercy and then good fruits without partiality or without uncertainty and without hypocrisy or with sincere behavior. And then it says, and peacemakers who sow seeds in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. So, in another point, Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, every time there's an issue, peacemakers, what is peace in the Bible? Peace is to deal with chaos, right? Peace actually means to destroy or to come against the kingdom of chaos, right? You know that from... So to make peace is to combat that, right? Combat chaos. And that's what true wisdom is about. You know, we don't know how to do it, but God does. And every time there's chaos, it's an opportunity for us to trust him so that we can deal with it, but that he can deal with it, what we don't know how to deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we come into agreement with him. See, that's his loyalty for us. We don't know, but when we turn to him and we honor him. So again, I was talking about like honoring our wife in mercy. So husbands, love your wives, but wives, respect your husbands. So when we respect God, when we honor him and we humble ourselves and not knowing, he gives us a greater understanding that we didn't have before, that can now deal with the thing we couldn't deal with before, the chaos that we had, right? That couldn't be dealt with in our lives. And he wants to do that on every level. Like, that's the practicality of it. He wants to do that with our money. He wants to do that with what we're talking about, diets
Our
right
diet,
now,
yeah.
you know.
Or health, you know.
Health, yeah. What's going on in the world,
right?
You know, a bodily issue, like, yeah. There is something to where like I'm dealing with this back pain right now. Somebody could pray for me, I could be healed, or I could trust God in my pain, and he can lead me to healing and lead me to peace and get an understanding out of it. That sometimes is even better because now I've gained something in it. Where if I'm healed like that,
and you just walk away and do what you've been doing,
yeah, it's like, what am I learning?
Right.
So every time like I go through something, like in the past, it would be like you feel shame, like and trying to figure it out. But now it's like I know there's an answer in him. Let me trust him. Let me seek him, and then I get wisdom, right? And that's a wisdom that's not selfish, but it helps myself, right? There's like, that's the difference. It's not selfish, but it's self healing. And when we have selfish ambition, we're trying to prove ourselves.
Right.
But when we can heal ourselves, but of course it's God healing us, but he's teaching us through us humbling ourselves. Right? That's selfish ambition. I don't know. It's like this little dichotomy thing that we have to learn in what we're doing. So every time we feel shame, every time we feel like what's going on, and we feel like we want to like cover it up, we kind of gotta be exposed, be vulnerable. That's why I'm talking about it, because every time I feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have did that, or why'd that happen to me? I know there's an exposure there, and I have to be vulnerable, because if I try to cover it up myself, I'm not allowing God to work.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's why it says to confess your sins, right? Confess to one another, because then you can be strengthened by one another. You don't do it with everybody, but you confess your sins to one another, people who you honor, people who will honor you in God, you know, and then healing happens. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, that's perfect place to stop. We're coming right up on 2 hours. So that was a great message at the end there, Jake. I appreciate that. And shout out to everybody who's been watching. Thanks, Stan, for calling in. We love you guys. Don't forget patreon.com/youngliontv if you want to become a member. Mom, I don't think you have become a member yet. You know, it's calling your name at any point here. But yeah. Thank you guys for signing up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. And we out of here.
Young lion gon' live, yeah. you rich, yeah. This